So this is the 2020 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Beautiful machine, amazing apps, lots of room for creativity and productivity. I love it, I really do. And I'm returning it. So there's a couple of lessons that I've learned here that I want to share with you guys that might help you out in the future too. I thought I put a lot of thought into getting this iPad Pro, and I really did. And one of the things I thought I was going to do as an editor was I was going to use this and maybe get out of this office and get into the living room or the dining room a little bit, be closer to the family, and do some editing out there. It was good intentions. Unfortunately for me, we are in a quarantine situation. It's COVID-19 times, the coronavirus, and we're all staying home, trying to stay safe. So honestly, one of the things that I probably didn't do a very good job of realizing is that the iPad is fantastic for on-the-go stuff in the office, away from the main computer, or on an airplane, or at a restaurant or a cafe or wherever you may be if you need to get something done real fast or show something to a client or a partner. These are all situations that iPads are great for, but I'm not in that situation. So, that one's on me, right? Probably should have thought about that more before I picked it up. But that's one of the reasons that you really have to think about what exactly are your intentions with these new gadgets, with this new tech. In my case, I thought I was going to use it, and not just because it was the new shiny, but also because I know that there's some great applications on it. But I just didn't use it as much as I thought I was going to. And again, that's a personal thing. That's on me. I have this great computer sitting here behind me with this desk, and I'm here at the office. And I did do some stuff on the iPad, but I find myself being in this office doing them. So what's the point if I wanted to get it to get out and be closer to the family and do stuff outside of the office, yet I was still using it in the office? That kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing. And so that was the first lesson learned right there, right? The first lesson learned is know your usage, know what you're going to use it for, know where you're going to use it. Honestly, I thought I put some thought into this decision because it's not a cheap product, it's a pretty expensive thing. But for as good as it is and for as powerful as it really is, it just doesn't take the place of my laptop, and it surely doesn't take the place of the computer behind me. And if I'm stuck in my house anyway, I'm going to use the computer behind me, which has got a full resolve setup and standing desk and the 27-inch monitor and the side station monitor and stuff. The list goes on. It's just it's not necessary, and I honestly don't know if it would be necessary even if I wasn't stuck at home. And again, just to be clear, that's no fault on Apple, right? That's on me. That's my usage. It's a personal thing, but it is a lesson learned, and it could be an expensive lesson if you're not able to return it like I am. I'm thankfully within the 30 days, and it's in new condition, so I'm allowed to return it. But just be aware. Really understand before you jump into something like that. Do you need it or don't you need it? The second lesson I learned with the iPad Pro is that ergonomics matter. And I thought 12.9 inches was going to be like amazing, to have a 13-inch laptop over here. And I always knew that when the iPad first came out that they would eventually make a bigger and bigger one. And 12.9 inch just sounded great, and I saw Luma Fusion demos on YouTube and people using Procreate, and I thought, man, that looks fantastic. I want to get in on that too, and I did. And look, for all intents and purposes, Luma Fusion is a fantastic application and looks gorgeous on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. The problem is that I get back to ergonomics, right? Holding the iPad Pro, even if it's in a beautiful case like this one, I think it's a Z2 top, makes a case like this with like a nice little magnetic latch on the bottom there, so it stands up like this. Even if it's in a really nice case like that, we're still looking at a situation where you have to. I had the pencil before. I've already sent the pencil back, so I can't really demonstrate this. But ergonomically, even if it's at its lowest position, you're holding your hand in such a way that after a while it starts to get cumbersome. Maybe you're holding it, you're on your lap on the. Maybe you're in bed, maybe you're on the couch. I don't know where you do your iPad stuff or you're drawing or anything, but even if you take breaks, after a while, I found myself sitting with my head like this, like just kind of hunched over and just editing on this, and I got this computer behind me, right? Like I said before, I got a 27-inch monitors. I got a standing desk behind me. They're on a Visa mount, so I can move the monitors wherever I want. I have a nice mat to stand on. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what I was doing to myself. And honestly, I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but lately I've been feeling some numbness in my hand, and this one as well. And honestly, I attribute it somewhat to holding that Apple Pencil, which isn't completely ergonomic. Uh, Holding it very tightly. I don't know why. Just trying to grip it and just moving it and holding it at its weird angle. And I just haven't gotten over this hand numbness. So I mean, I've gone to see doctors about it already, to be honest with you. But and look, I'm not saying again that it was the iPad Pro that caused it, but it happened at the exact same time after I bought it. And it prevented me from really enjoying the iPad any more than I had previously. I mean, my screen time from week 1 of owning to week 2 of owning was down 68% because of an injury. And I mean, that's just like, why do that to yourself? So that's lesson 2 learned. Lesson 2 is ergonomics matter. Even though it's a 12.9-inch screen, that's a little unwieldy for holding on the couch or holding in bed or even just holding it in your hands for too long. And I just didn't find myself using it as much as I thought I would. So my usage was wrong. You really have to evaluate that. Ergonomically, I wasn't prepared to work on this for as long as I do. You got to get up and take breaks more often, and you got to worry about, where your neck position is and where your hand position is. And this is all personal, honestly. I understand that. You don't have to go into the comments and flame me about it. I'm sure you already have typed your comment if you would. But it's a situation where you really have to understand what it is that you're trying to do with these things. Do you already have technology that does this? Are you doubling up on technology? In my case, I virtually tripled up on technology. So not the smartest purchase. I can see a niche for students taking notes or artists who want to create digital paintings. Again, for as great as Luma Fusion is as an editing application, for anybody who wants to get into some serious work, I don't see you being able to work on this for anything more than an hour or 2 at a time before you got to take a serious break or risk injuring yourself. So that's it. Those are the lessons learned. It just comes down to usage and ergonomics. And these aren't really things that you look at when you look at new technology. Honestly, there's never a review about the ergonomics of an iPad. I've never seen anybody really talk about the ergonomics of an iPad, maybe on keyboards and stuff, but there's some real stuff to think about when it comes to using technology like this long. If they're marketing this to be something where you can work in a professional capacity, just be aware of that. I mean, like I said, hand numbness and sore neck and stuff like that. These are real things. Maybe not for you young bucks out there, but for us old guys, it's a real deal. So the next time I want to get the new shiny technology, I'll try to evaluate my usage a little bit better than I did on this purchase. And, no fault on Apple stuff. Again, these are highly personal situations. I get that. But in the same regard, they may help you in a future decision. Even if you're looking at an iPad Pro right now, these are just 2 more things that you'd want to consider. Honestly, finances being one thing, obviously, right? But really check out your usage and understand where you are at your life right now and what you already have around you that could do the same thing without having to invest in a new piece of kit. And last but not least, ergonomics. Again, just make sure that you're willing to actually be able to work on something like this for a really long time and not hurt yourself in the process. So yeah, that's it. The iPad Pro, it's gonna go back, sadly, but I think that decluttering a little bit is good for creativity. And honestly, if something is giving you physical problems, then I don't know if there's much room for it anyway, right? But again, great product, not for me. Lessons learned. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.